Every single textbook you read in school told you a massive lie about how space actually works up there. They showed you pictures of astronauts floating around like dust motes and said that once you clear the clouds, gravity just stops existing. But if you look at the raw orbital tracking sheets from early space missions, the math tells a completely different story right away. At 400 kilometers above your house, right where space stations circle the planet, Earth still pulls on everything with 90% of its normal surface strength. You are not looking at a magic zone of zero weight. You are looking at a terrifying physical cover-up. Imagine taking a metal elevator to the top of the tallest building on Earth, cutting the steel cables, and letting it drop. As you fall toward the ground inside that box, your feet float right off the floor, and your phone hovers right next to your hands. You feel completely weightless, but gravity did not disappear for even a single second. You and the elevator are just falling at the exact same speed. That is the dirty little secret space agencies never bothered to explain clearly to the public over the last 60 years. Space is not a peaceful sanctuary where weight goes away. It is a violent physical trap of constant falling. Think about the sheer scale of what is happening over your head every single minute while you sit in your living room. A 500-ton space station packed with heavy equipment and human beings is currently plunging toward the ocean at 27,000 kilometers per hour. The only reason it never smashes into the dirt is because it moves sideways so fast that the Earth curves away before the station hits. You are not watching people float in a quiet vacuum free from planetary forces. You are watching a continuous high-speed crash that never ends, powered entirely by the massive gravity of our world. So why did science communicators and government teachers spend decades telling everyone that space has zero gravity? Why invent a fake physical law just to make people believe the sky is a passive, empty room? When you dive into old military flight logs from early satellite launches, you realize that explaining real orbital physics meant admitting how easy it is to drop objects anywhere on Earth. Telling the public that space is totally weightless made spaceflight feel like a peaceful scientific miracle instead of a relentless ballistics game. They traded the complex truth for a simple story that kept people calm and unconcerned. Look at your own hand right now and try to picture the invisible pull of the planet wrapping around everything near it. Earth's gravitational field does not care about atmospheric lines or human borders. It stretches out for hundreds of thousands of miles into the pitch-black void. It grips the moon, drags stray space rock, and holds every single satellite in a tight physical leash that never lets go. The idea that you can step out of a rocket and suddenly escape the pull of Earth is total fantasy. You are bound to the mass of this rock whether you stand on dirt or orbit miles above. If you pull up early engineering files from satellite tracking stations, you find crazy notes written by engineers who were trying to keep early craft from falling out of the sky. They were not just fighting the thin edge of upper air, they were fighting massive gravity pockets that pulled craft off course every day. Mountains, dense crust deposits, and deep ocean trenches on Earth actually alter the strength of gravity, acting on satellites flying overhead. If space were truly a uniform zone of zero pull, those satellites would travel in clean, perfect circles without any extra thrust. Instead, control teams had to constantly fire small thrusters to keep craft from dipping down into the thicker atmosphere and burning up. That means people in charge knew space was a complex mesh of strong, shifting gravitational pulls while telling TV audiences that astronauts were weightless. You have to wonder what else gets simplified or hidden when agencies talk about deep space physics to regular people. When you look closely at how spacecraft move, you start seeing that the universe is far denser and far more connected than your teachers ever admitted. When you analyze how human muscles and bones break down in orbit, the reality of constant freefall gets even uglier for your health. Your body is built to fight against the solid ground, pushing back up against your feet every second of your life. In orbit, gravity is still pulling on every cell in your body, but because there is no floor pushing back, your brain gets completely confused. Your heart shrinks, your legs lose density, and your balance system panics because it cannot find a solid resting frame. You are not resting in zero gravity. Your body is breaking down under the strain of an endless plunge. Scientists knew this would happen long before they sent the first human up into low orbit to walk outside their craft. They had the physical equations worked out on paper decades before rockets were even standing on the launch pads in Florida. Yet they kept using the phrase zero gravity on news broadcasts because it sounded clean, safe, and easy to sell to taxpayers. Real spaceflight is dangerous, heavy, and violent, but zero gravity sounded like a fun playground where physics took a break. That single choice of words changed how 3 generations of people understand the universe around them. The moment you realize that planetary pull never stops, your whole perspective on space exploration changes from top to bottom. Satellites are not hovering up there in a quiet sky. They are constantly fighting to stay ahead of a massive gravitational drop. If Earth suddenly stopped turning sideways today, every single satellite and space station would instantly fall straight down like lead weights. They stay up there only because their side speed matches the fall, creating a delicate balance that can fail at any moment. You are looking at a knife-edge physical tightrope, not a weightless paradise. Now take this idea a step further and look at what happens when craft travel out toward the moon or distant planets. You might think that somewhere between worlds, you finally find a quiet spot where gravity turns off completely. But astrophysics shows that every star, every planet, and every dark galaxy is pulling on every piece of matter in existence simultaneously. There is no spot in the known universe where the gravitational pull drops to absolute zero. You are constantly suspended in a tug-of-war between giant cosmic bodies, no matter how far out you fly. That means the entire concept of zero gravity taught in schools is a complete lie from start to finish. Space is a dense map of gravitational wells and valleys, where every object is falling towards something larger than itself. When you see astronauts floating on your screen, you are watching an illusion created by matched speeds, not the absence of force. Once you get this concept through your head, you realize that humans have never once left the grip of Earth's heavy footprint. We just learned how to throw objects fast enough so they keep missing the floor. Think about what this means for secret military platforms and tracking grids flying over your home right now. If governments know how to navigate these complex gravity contours, they can slide satellites through low-pull channels to save fuel and hide from radars. They use the real physics of planetary pull while keeping the simplified zero-gravity story in public school books for everyone else. It is the ultimate divide between real working technology and public education. The real tools work on deep gravitational math that most people were never taught to understand. Take a second to drop a like on this video and subscribe to the channel if this deep dive is opening your eyes today. Your support is the only thing that keeps us digging through real physics files, cutting through corporate noise, and bringing you the unfiltered truth. Drop a comment below with your thoughts, because I read every single one to see how deep you want to go next. If you look at atomic clocks placed on high-altitude satellites, you catch another strange detail that shatters common sense completely. Clocks up there tick slightly faster than identical clocks sitting on a table in your kitchen down here on the ground. That happens because gravity is slightly weaker up there, which actually speeds up the flow of local time for that satellite. Gravity does not just pull on your weight, it stretches and squeezes time itself depending on how close you sit to a massive planet. This means astronauts in orbit are actually aging at a slightly different speed than their families waiting for them back home on Earth. They are moving through a distorted pocket of time created by the exact same gravitational well that keeps them falling around the planet. The public was told that space is just an empty black room with no weight and no resistance. The truth is that space is a thick grid where time, weight, and speed are twisted together by the mass of our world. Every time you look at a video of a spacewalk now, your brain is going to see something totally different than before. You will not see a calm swimmer moving through a weightless sea under the black curtain of space. You will see a human being hanging over a deadly 400-kilometer drop, moving at suicidal speeds just to keep from plunging into the ground. The sheer terror of that real physical dynamic was hidden behind a simple two-word phrase designed to make space look easy. Here is the absolute heaviest realization of this entire investigation when you step back and connect all the dots together. The fake narrative of zero gravity was not just an innocent shortcut created by tired science writers trying to explain space quickly. It was a conscious choice to make the universe feel disconnected, distant, and separate from our daily lives here on the ground. By telling you that gravity ends at the edge of the air, they made you feel like Earth is an isolated island in a dead void. The truth is far more intense. You are connected to the rest of the cosmos by an endless network of gravitational cords that never snap. The sun pulls on your body right now, the moon pulls on your blood, and distant galactic cores exert a tiny pull on every atom in your house. There is no boundary wall where Earth ends and space begins. There is only one massive, continuous field of physical force holding everything together. When you step outside tonight, you are standing inside the very same gravitational web that moves the stars. Understanding this changes how you view your place on this planet and how much control you really have over your environment. You are not sitting on a rock floating in a passive sky. You are riding a high-speed vehicle locked in an endless cosmic drift. The laws of physics do not turn off just because you build a fancy suit or step into a high-tech metal tube. The universe is hard, dense, and uncompromising, operating on raw gravitational math that does not care about human comfort or public relations stories. So the next time someone tells you that there is no gravity in space, you can look them in the eye and tell them the truth. Tell them about the perpetual fall, the high-speed orbit, and the invisible pull that stretches out to the very edge of the night. Tell them that weightlessness is just a trick of motion, and that we are all locked in the exact same cosmic trap together. The sky is not empty, the sky is not weightless, and the pull of home never lets go. Now that you know the truth behind the zero-gravity myth, ask yourself one final question before you close this video tonight. If institutions were willing to rewrite the basic laws of gravity just to keep the public calm about space, what other fundamental truth about our world are they simplifying right now? Think about that as you look up at the dark sky tonight, watching the quiet satellites fall endless circles over your head.